I come from a troubled past, the mind of a double standard. I write with the other hand, you might misunderstand them. Just take a closer look, you can see the bread upon us. I make history for a living, men of honor. What up, people? Good afternoon. Just want to take a second to welcome you guys to another episode of The Potent Perspective.
The only perspective
that matters. No shot at the other perspective, but this way you need to be tuned in. You feel what I'm saying? But I go by the name Hash Potent, and this is my brother Ken Gamboa.
Blessings to
and
everybody.
We are The Potent Perspective.
Yes, we are.
You feel me? So, and today we just want to dive into a topic that is prevalent. It is relative to, a topic that's being had in private quarters, amongst coaches, between men and women, or, amongst men and amongst women, right? So, and the topic is, how do we put that together?
Man, is it the same?
Okay.
Is it the same, as a black man dating a non-black woman?
Okay, so, and to put that in perspective, this is not biased by any choice. It's just a matter of perspective and preference. How different is it? Or does it matter? To you as a man, because we generally talking amongst men, about men, the ethnicity in the opposite sex in which you choose to date or, spend a long period of time with or have a relationship with, right? So, and we could get deep into this, but right off the muscle, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between the woman of color and the Caucasian woman. I have nothing against, the Caucasian woman. Mm-hmm. They're attractive just as they are beautiful.
That's right.
But preference, I love a black woman. I'm sorry, bro. I love a black woman. And we could break that into molecules at this point, you know what I mean? Now, if you're young and you are, you're trying to find your way, young brother, you know what I mean, African descent, you gonna explore. Your testosterone levels is through the roof, so you're willing to taste, the rainbow damn near. You feel what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, from that perspective, a beautiful woman, it's a beautiful woman.
It's a beautiful woman.
Whatever you find beautiful or fine.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You look at her and you like, damn, who's that?
I know, and there's no blueprint to, what leads you, how love is formed between a man and a woman. So,
but through trial and error though, because your preference is the sisters, right? Is a black woman, mm-hmm. But you done in spirit. You have already experienced non-black women. You've been in that situation.
I have.
So it's like, for you personally, what's the huge difference? The big clear differences that just make you just say, nothing really compares to being with somebody that looks like me with another black woman.
So, being a black man, first of all, you journey from boy to man, and there's a process. There's a lot of things that you go through. You're learning yourself. You're trying to discover who you are, what inspires your drive, what you look up to, mm-hmm. combined with your environment in which you was raised, culture. All of these things play an effective role in the decision you make for the type of female you choose to pursue, right? So black women have a type of essence about them that is undescribable, bro. And sometimes it took me a long time, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not by a long stretch racist or anything. In no way. I
Yeah.
love people.
Yeah.
I think people are a beautiful creation of God's work. And at the end of the day, it's all a matter of perspective. But the difference is just a difference. It's a clear difference. It's something about that spunk that they have. It's, you know, and if it's balanced and in the right place, it could ignite a fire in you that just make you want to consume them. You feel what I'm saying?
Fact.
So and it's a beauty in it. A part of this might be because of, you know, we coming from the same place. There may be a similarity in understanding, background, culture, and you know, if possible, you want to go where you're celebrated as a man. If you're not celebrated, at least you're understood. You know, I think it's important, you know, to at least feel like I'm at home with this person that I'm with, as opposed to I don't know who this person is. But if we talking about like energy, we talking about energy. We talking about roots. We talking about the pride of the struggle. You know, we talking about natural beauty. I think a black woman embodies it all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, our women of today have been somewhat misled, right? So it's sad to say, you know, the mentality now is so cliche and you know, shallow that it makes it unattractive, right? But still in all.
What do you mean? Like, what type of mentality we talking about that?
So
Speaking of.
So the mentality I'm referring to is that of, you know, coming into a relationship with the mentality of what can you do for me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the today's approach is so transactional, it's ridiculous. And that to me takes away a huge part of the beauty of the potential that the relationship can have if it's were to be organic, if that makes sense.
You know something? Even with like you got all this stuff on the internet, and I guess you got a lot of negative experiences in dating too. They say, okay, my personal preference is a black woman, right? And then you might run into an obstacle in dealing with a certain type of black woman, with a common-minded individual that happens to be a black woman. Because I'm sure if you consistently date, I'm sure if like you ask a guy that just dates white girls or Latinas, there's a certain problem within that community too. Maybe,
Of course.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I wouldn't know because I'm not dealing with those women on a consistent basis like that. But even with like the things that we would look as drawbacks as men, I'd still rather deal with that than go and deal with a non-black woman. I still would rather, because just the number one, that physical beauty, man, ain't nothing can replace it. To me, it's like there's preferences, right? And it's like looking at a BMW and a sedan that's really nice. Both cars are nice, fully loaded, right? But the experience and look of each one is completely different.
Completely different.
And so when I see a black woman that, you know, got a sundress on, right? Or she in her femininity, she looking good. She got her toes out. She got the heels on. She got her hair done. She walked past me, you know, the sound of her voice, the smell of her skin, her odor. Man, it's like
it's unmatched.
It's a work of art.
It's a work of art.
And that's not to say that any other woman of any other race is not beautiful, is not fine, is not attractive, but there's a special allure and look that, for me personally, any other race
nobody
that
else
and competes with that.
Nobody else, bro. I'm telling you. And then, you know, a part of this, you know, and we talking about, we want to delve into both perspectives, right? We could talk about the mentality, and we could also talk about the physical presence and essence of a black woman. It's a work of art, like my brother said. It's a work of art to see them, you know, just exist. I'm talking about she could walk in this room and captivate the entire room.
Shit, even going to the grocery store, you just gonna walk in for a jug of milk, and you see a fine sister just doing her life, right? And now you got a burst of energy out of nowhere. Excited.
Out of nowhere. And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
All she has to do is smile at you and say hi. Your world just changes, right? Now, to some people, you know, people might have their perspective. Your perspective is your perspective. You're welcome to have and think how you feel, right? But man, I'm telling you, it's just something about, it's a beauty with them. Now, if we talking about the physical, we talking about the natural sister, right? We talking about the one that's been blessed from the motherland.
No BBL meat.
No BBL meat, please. None. And I'm not going, I don't have no mercy for y'all. I'm sorry. I feel like ain't nothing fooling with tiger stripes. Ain't nothing fooling with, you know, assets that was naturally,
That's
that she was
crazy how you
naturally
just put
birthed
it. You
with.
said tiger stripes. That's
Nothing.
crazy.
Nothing. Nothing. She could have bought her underwears out of Walmart. The way it's going to hug her body can make your world erupt when she
And
comes.
you know, this is even for the ones, because you know, black women come in all different shapes and sizes. Even if I look at a white girl that's slim, right? And the black woman gonna look even better in the same.
She just gonna trumpet, bro.
Yeah.
And now it's crazy. Like, I wanna say there's no comparison.
No.
None, bro.
No.
And you know, for us brothers who, you know, the guys who's been with that black woman, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just an undescribable energy that they possess. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Ignorance is unattractive from any race.
Facts.
You know, we not finna let them make it either. Like, if you ignorant, you know, you could be as beautiful outside and you could be a complete disaster from the heart, right? You know what I mean? And we try to avoid that. But if we talking about essence, nothing fooling with that girl.
So let's say you got a fine Latina girl or white girl, okay, and she's beautiful and she is agreeable, right? She don't bring you, there's not a wall you gotta break down there. She meets you every time you're around her. She's about you. Is that enough to lock you in?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If I'm being as transparent as I could possibly be, if you have a woman that is about you, that trumps everything. That's a whole different topic, right? Because you would want to go where you're celebrated at the end of the day, right?
Most definitely.
Now, if I'm making an exception, however, the Hispanic woman gonna be right next after the black woman. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And not saying I'll put her second, but they're about the closest I would go outside, because Hispanic women, they got an amazing kind of beauty about them too. And why, you know, let's not, you know, forget that down the line somewhere in their ancestral background, there's some black in them too. Even though sometimes, you know, this might be a topic, a conflict of interest, you know, because some people, they don't really know their roots. They don't really know where they came from. But black and Hispanics are just, there's more deeply rooted than we know or we would like to admit. So I don't know if that might play a part in why it's a go with them. It's just something about their nature. It's natural for them to want to take care of their man or their significant other.
It's in the culture.
Yeah, it's in the culture. And that in itself is attractive. So if she's coming like that, it's a go. Because I done met some ignorant black chicks from the hood, but and some ignorant black women from the burbs. I done seen it. So it's not attractive, but still, man, you know, if we talking about the bottom root of where the source of the energy that we're attracted to.
So you've been with white girls, right?
I have
And what was that experience like?
I have dated 2 or 3 Caucasian women in my
Okay.
lifetime, and they're at the time they want to take care of us too. I'm not gonna lie, they was good, and if I'm being honest, it wasn't as much drama with them. They're not dramatic. They like you. They like you. They want to take care of you. You seldom have a Caucasian girl that come in your life that likes you. They want to screw up your life, right? So, and I'm talking about they're not saying no to much. Whatever you want, they damn near will do it for you, right? I've seen that because I've dated a few women that are like that. So, but it's something about the essence that it was lacking there for me. Like it's just one of those things like, and it's weird when you have the experience, then by default, you wind up comparing the two.
It just don't hit the same.
It just does not hit the same.
I've had experiences like even the body odor. It's something as simple as that. Even like the pheromone that woman exhibits, it's not the same.
It's not the
same. For me personally, it's not even appealing because I notice it. I know, and I can't unnotice it once I notice it.
Yeah, you can't.
And it's consistent across the board. It's not even like this person got bad hygiene.
No.
It's like the essence,
the
same pheromone,
essence.
the scent of that individual or that race. And we might have our own as black people, like our own.
Of course,
who knows? I
yeah.
can't really tell, like from the outside. I'm not on the outside looking in, so maybe other races might think that we have a very unique smell or essence about us.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think that as a black man, like white women have like this specific odor, and I don't know how shallow am I? I'm not trying to be shallow, nor am I trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah,
nor
of course,
am I saying that they stink. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that specific essence. I don't like it, man. I don't really fuck with it. I'm not with it, man.
Ain't gonna lie.
Ain't nothing like the smell of like a black woman. She just put coconut oil on her skin or something like, or some cocoa butter with it. She just taking care of herself. That is shining under, the sun. Like, man, that's addictive. It is truly an addictive
It's
thing.
addictive. And then, like he said, when you notice it, you can't unnotice it. So, like I like stuff like when a black woman puts her hair up in a ponytail.
Oh God.
And those little baby hairs come out in the back. I'm weird like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no matter what the texture of her hair is, there's something about her clearing her air and putting her hair in a ponytail, and I get close here and it has the most amazing smell ever.
No.
It's just unmatched, bro. I'm talking about
it's that the sundress hair out bun combo. Like, let's say she got her hair pulled back in a bun in a sundress in the summertime, it's done. Open toe, like maybe flat open toe, it's done.
Like if she's ovulating,
man, I become a little rabbit,
Yeah,
like
now you're ready to
go.
Yeah,
I become a little rabbit. Like I just
go. Yeah.
My brain just zeroes in like extreme focus, and no other race of woman brings that out of me. No other race of woman. If I really think about it, no other race of woman brings that out of me, and I can recognize beauty. I can look at another woman and be like, "Oh yeah, she's fine. Like, who's that?" But that primal hunger, that it don't come out nowhere else.
So let's go here. Like, where do you think the root of that energy or that drive comes from for you as a black man? Like, is there some sort of historical psychological effect that led you this way? You know what I mean? Or because it has to be something that we was exposed to that gives us this type of assurance now as men, like, bro, ain't nothing like it. You know what I mean? Like,
I just think for me personally, you know, femininity's femininity, like we said. And I've been open-minded. I've, you know, talked to women of other races because at the end of the day, I do, as a man, you can't never replace women. I don't care what the internet or the atmosphere is like. As a man, it's nice having a woman that likes you and it's about you and you attracted to her. She's not the meaning of life, but having her presence, like the right woman's presence in your life, enhances it all around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And me experiencing the different races that I've had the pleasure of doing so, you know, you have certain examples. Okay, cool. For example, we just talking about visually, those things that pull. I really can't even explain why. It's like, well, why do certain people like sour things and why do certain people like savory things? You know, so like I really don't know if there's like a root cause for it. For me personally, it just is. It just is. And you figure out through trial and error, okay, you tried this restaurant, you never had this dish before, you try it, and it ain't that good, it's okay. You know, it's not something that I would ever eat again, you know. But if you gave it for free, you know, I might just, you know, put my fork in it.
It's true.
Yeah. But the other plate, man, that was so good. I'm coming back to the same spot and I want to order the same thing, the same way they made it.
Real.
And that's why I had brought up the aspect of the mentality thing, because in our community, you do hear, and you could give, I'd like you to give your opinion on this. Okay, we say what we say about black women physically, right? But what about the stereotypical negative things that come with it? So, for example, okay, black women are more aggressive, they're more combative, right? They probably won't be as, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. They probably won't be as submissive as the white girl because culturally we grew up in different environments, have different examples, etc. Are you still willing to deal with that? To just have a black woman, or is that even there? Is there any truth to that, to those assumptions in your experience when it comes to dealing with black women?
Now, because I've been through hell with a black woman, I'm gonna keep it 1,000%.
Keep it 1,000%. Hey.
Even so, there's still no comparison. I'm talking about this woman will make you want to throw her across a bridge sometimes. You know what I mean? Not literally. I'm just in your mind. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. The frustration.
You feel what I'm saying? But when she is somewhat submissive, and if you guys could come to a medium where she understands, okay, and this is rare. Unfortunately, this is rare. But she able to say, you know what, babe, you're right. That was my fault. I'm so sorry if I offended you. I shouldn't have said that. Please forgive me. Let me tell you something. That line right there would make a brother pick up a house and walk around Times Square with it. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's what we want. You know, that's the connection that we want. And that might be our only flaw. That might be our only flaw. And the world we live in, unfortunately, is set up to divide us. And they have succeeded in doing so, right?
Oh yeah, the CIA done won. They not even proactive at this point. They on vacation letting the autopilot do all the work.
Yep, yeah. And I got to give it to them because the attempt was mastermind. If they could have divided us, they could destroy us. And it has proven to be effective because now you have a lot of beautiful black women that are lost. Their minds is gone. You know, they're influenced by things that are have no monetary value. Their focus now is that of what I can get. It shatters the beauty in what we could have. as a people, because they can say what they want. Ain't nothing fooling with that melanin, bro. It's people that are lacking it, that's trying to get it, and people that have it that's trying to get more of it. You feel me? I'm one of those people. Like, I had a client today. He just left. You just seen him, right? Brother, black, almost black as this table. Skin rich. You know, I'm looking at him like, and me as a black man, I'm like, this is beautiful to me.
The appreciation of your people.
Yes, right. Like, it's like I'm looking at how rich the skin is. I'm like, bro, this is a beauty in itself, and it's rich. Right now, that does it for me. You know, when it comes to a black woman, bro. Like, I'm deep. You know, it's something about when you find where your place is in this world, and you find what you're most drawn to. You tap deep enough into your roots, you would find out that, all right, boom, I'm connected to this type of woman. So I really can't speak much about the outside race. I've dated black, Hispanic, and Caucasian. And I'm not gonna lie, the Hispanic women, they treated me amazing too. They are some beautiful creatures when it comes to the treatment that they give you as their man. So
the culture, I think the culture between black people and Latino people, or at least the temperament, is a lot closer than people think, you know, because they're very fiery and emotional people. Black people are pretty much the same way. In a different way, you know, but both are passionate, very passionate.
Yeah. The thing I think that it gives the experience a bad taste is when you have a black woman that's willing to disrespect you as a black man. I think that, you know, if we start talking, and at this point we're talking about two different, you know, topics, but that would be the flaw. Because it's so hard, because as beautiful as they are, if you come across the wrong black woman that is not willing to honor you, if you will, as a black man, understanding your position and the things that you have to face, the struggle, the things that you have to carry on your back as on a daily basis, I think it could make life really hard for you, man. And I'm not gonna lie, it's just as heartbreaking. You know what I mean?
I think that anybody that's willing to disrespect you as a man, right? But we talking about relationships, right? With your woman. If your woman's willing to disrespect you, you can't convince me that she loves you, man. I just don't. I can't. Do you believe that you could love somebody and not respect them?
Now, if we're touching on that, black women in general, they speak a different language.
110%
compared to us as men.
Man,
right?
We think differently and process
totally
things
different,
totally
right?
differently. Yeah.
So, if we were to understand that dynamic as men, that would be the only way that we could come to some sort of compromise and meet them where they are, right? So that might just be a mentality that, and God gave us this ability to embrace, you know, our significant other just as they are, because we also want the same. We're not perfect either. You feel what I'm saying? So you want them to embrace you just the same, but it's a certain type of, you know, narrative that is put out in the atmosphere now that have us combating with each other, which is we're at our worst point with regards to communication.
Nobody wants to give in and speak the other person's language. Like, what I mean is, all right, like you said, and we agreed on, men and women, we communicate differently, right?
We do.
So both parties seem to be at a point where it's like, I'm saying it like this, you need to understand it my way. And then the other person's like, nah, I'm saying it like this, you need to get. So nobody's trying to be like, you know what, let me just understand it your way and speak your language so that I can understand what you're saying, get my point across through the means that you can understand it, and we can come to an understanding where both of us get what we want. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't see that going on. I just see like stubbornness and ego and pride just planting a flag and seeing who comes first, who's gonna bend first, and instead of there coming an understanding and peace agreement, it's just a total all-out war until there's like the whole relationship is destroyed.
So what happens is what in relationship or when you have this issue is we're now arguing to see who wins the argument, not necessarily to understand.
Facts, yeah.
It's so terrible. And in my experience, I fell victim to this type of, combative approach because I'm in a situation with somebody who doesn't really understand how healthy communication works, And even to this day, we still have to practice it to perfection because we've come from a long history now at this point of being challenged by the female or the woman, being disrespected, you know what I'm saying? Still in all, I'm not here to advocate for, the black woman is this problematic that I won't deal with it. It's not really that. It's just that.
It'll never be that. No, be real. It'll never be that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so that we can agree that we still have a balance.
I think that you just gotta, as a man, you gotta know how to read people.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to read a woman.
Yeah.
Like just because I went through 5 women that were black and let me down, I'm not gonna stop dating black women, homie. It's just not me.
I agree.
I'm not gonna do it.
1000%.
I'm not interested in do it. I'm just gonna learn how to read the signs and have better discernment to point out certain traits that I think that I should stay away from because it's not for me. It doesn't benefit me. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Until I find the right black woman that shows me agreeable traits that I could work with, that we could both, we're not gonna be able to be perfect with each other. We're gonna have to learn each other. We're gonna have to work with each other. We're gonna have to make it work. It's gonna take, you take the left side, I take the right side of the paddle boat, and we both row to get to the other side.
Of course.
Wherever we're gonna go.
I ain't gonna lie, this is very similar to, for example, me cutting hair. I've been cutting hair now for 17 years probably at this point, right? And in any profession, when you work at anything that you're doing consistently by way of practice, before you know it, you're gonna get really good at what you're doing, right? Yeah. I've come to learn it's the same way with black women because just like you said, I have been through the 4 walls of hell with a woman of color. No lie, God is my witness. But you couldn't pay me to go outside of this circle. I just can't because I'm tell you what it is. The love I have for black women has trumped the love I have for any other race.
So what do you say to guys that advocate dating, let's say, forgetting about the black woman, like saying, all right, the black women, man, they too combative, they too damaged. If you want to find peace, go date outside your race. What do you have to say to men who think like that?
All right, because I'm balanced. I consider myself to be, optimistic in perspectives and the way I view life. Still, to the brothers who are on that journey, I would say, go where you're celebrated, right? I can't knock you because your value system might be different.
Yeah.
You might not be looking for essence. You might be looking for acceptance and appreciation. You might be looking for celebration might be at the top of your priority list, right? I say to you, go after what you desire from here. But as long as it's genuine, because there's no blueprint to where love leads you, right? Let's keep it 1,000. There's no manuscript written that say, okay, if you do this, you bust this left, 2 rights, you're going to get to where you're going. You got to...
Life is not like this controlled static path.
Unpredictable like a month.
Right.
So you got to, more than likely, you're going to fall a bit. You're going to trip over it. Sometimes you might be fatally wounded.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it all plays a part in developing you as a person and putting you in a position to get closer to what's meant for you. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So 1,000%, your journey is your journey, and this is all about preference. But for hash potent, she got to be from the motherland. I'm sorry.
So if it's coming out of frustration and anger, and they dating outside their race because they hating, right? Or they frustrated, they angry, is it still valid as if a man just going where he's personally more celebrated? Because let's say I love being devil's advocate, right? So let's say, well, in his community, certain black women might think that he's too whitewashed, right? You ever heard that before, right?
Yeah.
And it happens to men and women in the black community a lot, depending on, how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
You're too nerdy, you know what I'm saying? They probably don't have the same interests that the majority have. And he might be like a black sheep, right? And he just happens to attract a certain type of woman that maybe don't happen to be black more than the other. And then you have the other guy who he just angry. He like, man, F these, F these women. I'm done dealing with. I'm gonna go with white girls now. I'm gonna go with Asian girls now. I'm gonna go with Latina girls now. Do you think that there's a difference in that, or both perspectives are still valid? Both reasonings are still valid.
Okay, so for the brother that dislikes his race, in my experience, it's a journey for him. He's trying to find himself. So he hasn't developed a full sense of maturity with regards to where he wants to be, or should I say where he finds himself at home, or he feels at home, because there's a process that takes you from there. And honestly, as we're talking about this, I can't help but reflect on upbringing, and culture has a lot to do with the why we made the decision. What I mean by that, we've been birthed to a world that, we've experienced segregation, whether that be indirect or in our face, and division is like, some of it is forced. All of these things plays a part in why, as men, we would want to find ourselves in a place where we can call home, right? So we got to factor everything into the equation, because, you make a decision and you think, all right, you just randomly made. Nah, this is strongly based on your journey, what you've been exposed to from the time you started to decide to pursue your journey, to find yourself, and the place where you are right now in your life, right? So all of these things is what leads you to make a decision on who your significant other or what she would look like, right? So I think that the brother who hates his people or his race, he hasn't found himself yet. He's still going through some changes.
Even if it comes out of frustration?
If it comes out of frustration, it's definitely not valid, because he's making a decision based on a moment. That's not. It's so good that we talk about this, because I read a book recently called. Let me pull up the accurate name real quick, because I don't want to misquote what this book is. It's called Master Your Emotions: Practical Guide to Overcoming Negativity and Better Manage Your Feelings, right? And it talks about being emotional is not necessarily the way you feel. It's just an emotion. That blew my mind, because a lot of times we make decisions based on a moment where we were emotional. It's the worst time to make a decision, because you are not going to feel this way an hour, 2 hours later, a day later. You're not going to feel the same way, which is the beauty of being a human being. But with that being said, it's not the time where you can base, your decision on an emotion. This is why the government is ran the way it's ran. You know what I mean? This is why it's been so difficult for a female to be in a position of power, because the dynamics is different. You know what I mean? They base things on how they feel. We can't run a world based on how we feel, because we differ We go through different emotions, even throughout 24 hours. So, and by nature, as men, we're a little bit more logical. We're a little bit more structured by nature. This is just by design. So, and this goes back to the beginning. A lot of people nowadays, they want to push the narrative that, females could do what men do. No, they can't. I'm telling you that straight up. You know what I mean? By journey, I've learned, the way houses is built, concrete is laid, pipelines is installed. It takes a certain type of masculine kind of muscle to structure these things. Like, this thing gets deep, bro. When James Brown say it's a man's world, you got to understand what that means and where it comes from. It doesn't mean that a woman is incapable. It just means that we have gender roles. We have roles that we are to fulfill, and each of us, our roles is as valuable. I think once people understand that, we would be a force to reckon with when it comes. Because I'm telling you, it's like a community thing. If the women was to understand how amazing they are in nurturing and creating a place of comfort, you know what I'm saying, and being willing to serve, how amazing and blessed they are in that, just walking that way, we would be a force to reckon with, bro. Because now it's like tough combined with soft.
Right.
It just makes a beautiful fit.
Soft trying to become tough and tough trying to become soft. It just don't make no sense.
It doesn't make sense because it wasn't your role to try to be soft. Your role was to walk in your essence.
And as an individual, you should have balance.
You
know
should.
what I'm saying?
You should.
But you don't balance in the sense that, like, understanding, you should be able to do all things for yourself to a degree.
Of course.
Right? But this ain't a competition.
That's the thing. There's no competition. There's no competition. And the thing is, just think about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain women that wouldn't go to the gas station at night because they feel they could be at risk if they hop out and try to pump their own gas.
I mean, if you 5'3" and weigh, 120 pounds or less, it's like, yeah, the world can seem a much scarier place, Understood.
Right. But these type of experiences just shows you why we're positioned the way we are positioned. You know what I'm saying? And how important our role is, because what she's looking for at that time is to be able to be safe. And the only person that could provide that safety is a man. You know what I'm saying? Another woman can't do it. Because 9 times out of 10, the right dude pull up, he throw both of y'all over his shoulders and throw you in the van. Now you and the stud in the van tied up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and this is where we are. We just keeping it 1,000 with regards to that. This is just a beauty. And we don't want to go off subject, but it's a beauty in us being born in the gender that we're born. And we're just as needed. Your role, your presence is just as needed and as important as her presence. The only problem we have today is they're trying to confuse the roles. And now they propose the challenge now that the woman can do what the man do. I think no matter what the times present, we'll always fail trying to complicate the roles, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
So, does it matter for a black man if his love or his relationship is represented by any other race or woman that's not black? Does it take away from him as a black man or his love for the community if he's with a white woman? What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I want to say it can't, but once again, because of the world we live in, it can. Because you'll find yourself, because you gotta compromise. You gotta accept what she comes with, and in a lot of cases, it's a clash of culture. You know what I mean? You guys still have to watch movies together where maybe black people on the screen, sometimes white people on the screen. It's not saying that you're racist or anything, but there's some things that you might see that you can relate to. It will hit different. Some of it hits so different, you could feel the energy in the room, when it happens in front of you. And at this point, if you guys are not grounded, there could be a head bump in that moment. Because at that moment, sometimes you like it's saying yourself, you better not say nothing. You feel me? Or sometimes, what I mean, you just like hoping that she understands. And at that point you'd realize she can understand because she never been.
I just think that the natural clash of culture goes even deeper. Like from my observation, my experience doesn't make like it's not absolute. You know what I'm saying? We just talking about like one little window compared to the rest of the world. So I don't want to make it seem like what I'm saying is like fact, truth.
Yeah, right. It's just perspective. Yeah.
From what I seen, even when like how black men move and white men move, white men move, and how some like a white woman would respond to a black man's energy, his approach. I think from what I've seen, a lot of white women are scared shitless about that. Like it really makes them uncomfortable. I think there's a certain level of masculinity within a black man that only a black woman can handle, or they can handle it more comfortably, more commonly than a white woman. I've seen white women be like, oh, that's really aggressive,
it's true.
Or cower behind that energy,
It's true. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's true.
I may not be verbalizing it right, but maybe
no,
you can verbalize
yeah.
it better than me.
So I would, soften it up on them.
Right. But why?
All right,
that's the point. Like, why you gotta soften that? Why you gotta soften that
the natural
that essence,
you,
yeah,
huh?
that,
okay,
so that firmness, man. No, man. For what?
All right, so
play pretend, and then you got to go back to your natural self eventually. You understand?
Well, I'm speaking it from third party, right? I'm
but
not.
So you recognize it's a thing to begin with?
I do, because honestly, I could see where that happens on a daily basis. Now, I'm just looking. I'm speaking from the outside looking in. A white Caucasian male would understand a Caucasian woman a lot better in that case, and they might handle that differently. This is the best way I could put that, because you're right. It's some behaviors that would be natural to us that would be deemed some sort of threat or create a discomfort.
Right.
But all of it came from a narrative that was put into our community from since slavery. Because if you think about it, bro, our perspective absent racism would be quite different today. If we never were to be exposed to racism, our perspective may be a little different. So we can't even make a judgment call without including that, right? But then we have experience, and like I say, in my experience, a black woman is it to me. She's everything to me. And once again, I'm not saying ignorance is to be tolerated in any way.
No, just because she happens to be black, that don't mean that, and your preference is that you still gonna put up with disrespect.
No.
You still gonna put up with not being appreciated.
No.
If as a man, if you're moving in a way that has earned to be appreciated, because you're not gonna be a crappy individual, and just because you call yourself a man, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a difference, and if you have earned certain things as a person by being outstanding, by showing up, by being of your word, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, you gonna have to just put up with disrespect and being mistreated just because she happened to be black. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is like, at the end of the day, though, they just got that it factor. Nobody else got it.
They got it, bro.
And like I said, I'd rather bump my head 5 times in a row and have to start over 5 times in a row, and by the 6th or 7th time, find a black woman that's still fine, still feminine, and about me than to go venture off into dealing with another race of woman. She might appreciate me the same. Cool, I understand that. But I'm not gonna crave her the same though.
No, because one thing about us, I would say, and I would say this with the hope that it could bring some sense of unification between the people that can relate, is a black woman and a black man could fight. I'm talking about physical blows.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I hate that, but I hate to say that because I'm not advocating for anything domestic,
no domestic
here,
violence.
right?
Here. Anybody put their hands on you, you gotta walk away first.
Yeah, we
right.
don't want that.
No.
At worst case, you don't want that.
No.
But we understand each other in a way that I've seen chicks that they don't know how, they would haul off and slap you, but behind that slap, they really love you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They really connect with you, and it's weird. Some of us, as you know, from this varies from relationship to relationship. We understand that. Sometimes, and I've been in situations where a chick might put her hands on you. You got to restrain her. Now, your physical strength, just by you standing up, you know what I mean? You might inflict some sort of physical damage because of your strength, and she still ain't gonna call the police. She still ain't gonna put a charge on you. That in itself, it lets, in my experience, I've come to understand they love you. You know, they really love you. And this is some of them. Once again, I'm not talking about the people who just love to be in a toxic physical relationship, because that's not about it either.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I've seen where fights end in, y'all might mess around and be intimate after. It brings y'all closer. It's weird. I mean, it's weird, but it to a certain degree, if it's really, it's like it's a language that we've come to understand. So, and I'm not saying that other races don't have fights. They probably do worse than what we do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I could tolerate that if we're making a decision before I go after a woman of another race. I'm sorry.
Again, I have to agree with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's just, you figure out what you like through trying, different things.
Yeah.
And the differences is too big for me.
It's too.
I could go out with a pretty white girl. I mean, and I'm in line at Kava, Chipotle.
Yeah.
And I see a fly, sexy sister just in her natural state just pull up. I'm probably gonna be distracted like a motherfucker. I'm probably holding that girl's hand. I'm gonna go like this. It's messed up. I'm gonna go like. It's messed up, but through understanding that, I know what I should stay away from. I know where I should put myself in. I know what I like. I know what moves me. I know what does it for me. So don't put yourself in a situation where you even got to think about doing that, because you don't want to disrespect another person that's being genuine to you too.
Yeah, that really loves you. Yeah,
hurt people. You understand?
Yeah,
you don't want to hurt another person and waste their time. So once you figure out where you fall, man, you better stick in that lane.
It's crazy. A part of me wants to still be optimistic and ask the question, do that type of Caucasian woman exist for you?
What you mean?
Like, is there a possibility that you could find, that type of base?
Like she bad enough to,
like, not even just outwardly bad, but that essence. Like, she has an essence that would make you.
Man, listen. I'll say one time I met one white girl, and I'm going back, and this must have been like, 2025, maybe 2021ish, around there.
Yeah.
I was in Dallas, and I was at the mall. I went to like Nordstrom or something like that. This girl was like 6'4", man. Imagine Megan Thee Stallion, right? Now imagine her 6'4". This girl looked like that. She was white.
You talking about the thick Megan or the
thick Megan?
Oh, okay. Vegan Megan.
No, not vegan Megan.
Okay, all right.
Even though she's fly.
Yeah.
But this girl's body was insane, like volleyball player, like absolutely insane. Could hold it against any woman on planet Earth. Like she was fine. But because of the culture, because of that natural primal energy, even then I understood, okay, cool, like she's attractive, but that if factor though, that if factor's still not there. Do I think, so to answer your question, and this to me is the baddest white girl I've ever seen
Oh,
so
okay, I
far
see what
in
you're
my
saying.
life, so far
Okay,
to this
okay.
point, to this point.
Right.
So even then, she still didn't have that it factor that a black woman brings.
Possess.
Yeah, that she possesses. With
I
her
ain't gonna
natural
lie.
energy, man.
I'm thinking about it this whole time. It's a vast difference between them, bro. Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, any black woman walk in this room right now, bro. It's a certain energy that she's gonna bring. I'm gonna just say it doesn't happen. It's just not existent.
No, and I could talk about any type of black woman. Like we could talk about preppy and clean. We could talk about, you know,
Square and nerdy,
square nerdy, or like
straight ghetto.
ghetto.
It doesn't matter. It's nothing fun with them, bro.
It looks good.
Nothing fun with them.
Can't compete. You know, it can't compete.
I ain't gonna lie. I remember being kissed by a black woman. Just something serious about that, though. Especially the black woman that cares about you. And, you know, a lot of guys know what I'm talking about if you had this experience. But it's a certain way
Oh man,
she holds the back of your
no, you straight facts, man. Straight facts, bro. Listen, it's like this passion and tenderness and love. You know, like it's like so intense in the moment. Like
more intense than anything.
I've been kissed by a white woman before, and the way, like you said, a black woman will come and, like, with the tip of her fingers, push your head in and just wrap her whole full lips around you, and I've never seen it, experienced it anywhere else.
Yo, it's one of those languages where, in the moment, the act of it says, "Brother, I love you." Oof. And you are my world.
Yeah, cause you know them white girls, you know, they'll get a little peck and shit. Man, get that shit out of here, man.
Yeah,
you know?
even if they try to do that, I don't think it's the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Absolutely not.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie.
That's interesting. You pulled that out,
bro. Because look,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Something about a passionate kiss and light a fire up under you, bro. And something about this right here. I'm not gonna lie, dog. I'm telling you, it's something about when a black woman holds you by the face, like you are a piece of art to her. And she runs her hand to the back here when she's about to kiss you. Looks you in the eye.
Yeah.
You better thank Jesus that you don't just melt into pieces into that moment.
Say whatever you want right now. You can have it.
Say what, bro. I'm telling you, I've had it, and the experience is something heavenly, my brother. Yeah, they got it, and especially when she really love you. Man, that shit is gonna set you on fire on the spot.
It's an energy thing at that point. It's an energy that's embedded in the DNA, into the spirit, into the soul. And, you know, I don't know what you believe in, like who listening to this, and that energy stuff is real.
It's very real.
And at the end of the day, we as a people, I don't care if you black, and you could be black here in America, you could be black in South America, you could be black in the islands, you could be black in China. You carry something with you that's super special and unique.
I want to say that our essence, I thank God for my essence. It's unmatched, bro. I mean, anywhere you go in the world, you would draw a certain level of energy towards you just because you walk in the skin you're in. It's just a thing. And people could say whatever they want about, you know, we're some strong people. We took a beating to get here. You know what I mean? A severe beating. And it's a reason why we possess that pride. It's unmatched. But I mean, it's from black man to black woman. That thing we got is powerful, brother.
Yeah, that union, the dynamic, the
yeah,
energy, the chemistry.
It's powerful.
Even the excitement that you feel from
What?
it's the difference, like I said before. To me, dating a black woman that likes me versus dating a woman of another race that can genuinely like me too, it's like, and it's all about preference. But to me, it's like driving 100 horsepower sedan versus a 300 horsepower.
It's two different experiences.
And I like the 300 horsepower.
Real talk. It's different.
It's my preference. So
it's different. I ain't gonna lie. To sum this up, man, it's just, and once again, it's just my perspective. You know, I love black women, man. I love the essence of black women. I think they're amazing, you know. And like Ken said, I'm in agreement with that too. I don't mind the hell I've been through. I'm gonna keep pushing until I find that queen. That's it. I gotta have it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. There's no options when it comes to her. You know what I mean?
The best thing that you could do as a man is learn through experience the habits and behaviors
Very true.
of people that aren't about you, so that you could better narrow to find what you're looking for.
It's true.
That's what you got to do.
It's true. It's true. And then you got to learn to decipher, okay, I'm dealing with a situation where it's based on whether or not she's had some sort of experience. Because experience plays a major factor in, you know, the way she would treat you. If she, you know, and her willingness to compromise. If she is inexperienced, but she shows some sort of willingness to learn, a lot of time
100%.
women, they're attracted to leadership and, you know, a certain level of strength involved, right? Carry her. She could turn out to be something tremendous. I'm not saying you wanna play doctor all the time, but at the same time, if she shows potential, she could be a work of art eventually. But that's only if she's receptive.
You got to be, so it's like, just nobody comes in ready made 100% for what you want. Some
it's
people
true.
you got to work with. Some people need patience, need a little bit of, as a man, like they need you to provide a space of safety so they could be 100% vulnerable
Themselves.
with you.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's not to say that you should also take on this huge ass project of a person that's draining you.
It's true.
Nah.
It's true, because in the midst of, you know, the decision we make, and I ain't gonna lie, it just boils down to what you find when you find yourself, what you are 100% sure that you're comfortable with, or comfortable might not be the word, but you know, when you find yourself at home, like, all right, I understand my journey, and this is where my journey has taken me. A lot of times, you're gonna find yourself home with some black. You know what I mean? Now, I ain't gonna lie. Another thing I would like to point out is you gotta balance that, like what you just said. If there's absolutely no reciprocity, like what I mean is, if there's no pouring back into you, you don't want to invest too much time there.
Actions speak louder than words. You know, at the end of the day, it don't matter what nobody say. You gotta look at their actions.
It's true.
They say one thing, look if their actions coincide with what they say. So if that person is just take, and they're not pouring back into you like you just said, that's somebody that you need to part away from, because at that point, it's just a one-sided relationship. And a boat that's rowed on just one side is just going around in circles.
True. And I always reflect to one time when you when I watched you press on that chick at the mall.
Man.
She was worth the chasing, right? And I ain't gonna lie, as amazed as I was in that, oh man, we could talk about it for a minute, but but if I'm being honest, as amazing as that was to see you pursue her to where I actually see what she smiled in the conversation, right? Having been through the experience of life, and you know, your pursuit to find that woman that fits you You know what I mean? You don't want to spend too much time chasing after any female too, because I've seen it too many times where you run a chick down so much to where she finally lets you in and you feel like, all right, I got her. But if there's not any return at the end of that pursuit, it still is not a safe place to be all the way.
To me, you shouldn't even, as a man, you shouldn't even feel like you pursuing. Like, I think that as a man, you should court a woman, right? Like, what I'm saying by court is, if you doing things, you creating an experience for her, just like she's creating an experience for you. But I'm saying, like, as a man, you initiating it, right?
Okay.
But you don't have to look for her. You don't have to reach out to her all the time. She's making herself available for you, because before you got to call her to show up, she's already outside waiting for you, to just open up the door, to your life, right?
True.
To the experience of coming into your world, right?
True.
So I think that as men, you should look at a woman and judge her by her ability to making herself available to you and being considerate to you, right? And when she comes into your world, how does she behave? That when she comes into your house, does she take off her shoes at the front door, right? Does she try to keep everything the way that she see it? Or does she just come in and bring chaos into your life, right? It's really easy. Like, actions speak louder than words at the end of the day to me.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I can't be that uniform because every woman's different. Every black woman's different. You got a chick that might not take her shoes off at the door. You know what I mean? But she go upstairs and you come out the shower, she know how to lay out what you need. Or
But if you communicate that,
yeah, sometimes you may have to. Sometimes in this world, you'll be blessed to find a woman that just comes with those attributes. You know what I mean? But it's a beautiful thing when it happens. And to be honest with you, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes you might have to communicate, hey, babe, I like to do things this way. She might be receptive enough to be like, okay, sweetie, definitely. And then sometimes she might already be there. You won if she's already there.
yeah, you really did win.
You
Yeah.
win. But, generally speaking, man, it's just the essence is beautiful from a black woman.
It's irreplaceable.
It's irreplaceable.
Can't find it nowhere else.
I'm sorry.
You can be appreciated everywhere else. You can find love everywhere else.
Sorry.
That's not to say that you're not going to find love if you date a non-black woman. You're not going to be appreciated if you date a non-black woman. But it's really not going to be the same.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same experience. It's not the same type of excitement. And like for me personally, I don't hunger and crave a non-black woman the same as I would a black woman. So for me personally, the man sitting in this chair, yeah, he's gonna be dealing with a black woman forever.
In so many words,
Yeah,
right?
forever.
In so many words.
Forever.
Yeah. She trumps it for me.
Don't matter if she light-skinned black woman, brown-skinned black woman, or nice midnight skinned chocolate black woman. As long as you black, you gonna have my preference. 100%.
Yeah, she trumps it. It's a soul and an essence that she possesses that is unmatched, and there's no exception when it comes to her. So at the end of the day, black woman is our number one vote. Straight up. There's nothing fooling with her. You know what I mean? Forget what they talking about outside. She's it. Get you one. You feel me? Yeah, that sums it up, man. I think that I hope that, the viewers, y'all willing to shoot us.
Yeah, engage in the comments. Right. Engage in the comments. Drop your opinions on the subject. Your
perspectives, you know what I mean?
Right.
And also we're welcoming, other people, other, contendants in here to where we could have open table discussion. And, we could really dive into the different perspectives, right? We're not opposed to nobody's perspective. It's some things that we might be able to learn from you, and we need to have you in these chairs. You know what I mean? So, you know, I appreciate everybody for the time that you guys sat with us, and I hope that, you know what I mean, it challenged you. You know what I mean? Because you got a perspective too, right? So that's it, bro. You know what I mean?
It's wrapped up.
Wrapped up. Appreciate y'all. You know what I mean?
I speak on behalf of the lost, on behalf of the little nigga trying to get a Porsche.